Elgato. Yeah, my Elgato's coming in. Getting that Elgato, and he never got one. Oh man, it's so good. And he's just wanted to talk about how good Red Dead Redemption 2 was. This is just the best game in the world. Yeah. Okay, guess I like video games.
What? Oh, you're watching some of his videos now?
No, it's an amazing song he made. Whole thing is like, oh no, I'm too old for video games, blah blah blah. And then he's like, okay, I guess I like video games. Alright, let's get back to
video game.
Yeah.
Jack
Awesome.
Blackbeard, he is the best, man. I wish we almost went and saw Tenacious D was here in Charlotte, I think last year.
They came here. Yeah.
Did you go see him?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Kyle Gass has a house in Fayetteville.
That's crazy.
In town, and it rained the whole time, and he was like, Jack Black was like, we're gonna give you guys a special song since you've been standing in the rain the whole time, and they played Master Exploder.
Nice.
Because he was like, this is not a song we do live because it is not possible for me to do this live.
Right.
And he didn't do it. Like he didn't, you know how high he goes. Like he did not.
Yeah.
He's like, you guys can do that. That's like some recording magic. That's not me.
That's wild. All right, I can shut that off. Let's see. I can see the YouTube chat. What's up, chat? Anybody over there now?
Cello YouTube.
Let me just make sure we are recording here so I can at least see that over there. Neil, say something.
Neil, say something.
Neil talking. Okay. All right. Well, I think we are good, boys.
It always asks me to knock on the stream. I'm gonna knock. Knock.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. Stream together only supports Chrome and Firefox, which I don't use, so never mind.
That's weird.
Knock.
I think it's because I'm like you added us to the channel. I think
yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so like I think it might be like because I'm not subscribed to it, so I think that I think if I knock, if I knock, it just lets me in without gets me past the ad wall. Since I'm a part of the channel.
Hey, I did gift my Prime sub to us.
Nice.
At one point.
Big fan.
Yeah.
Subbing to the channel. Did you guys watch any of the Twitch rivals? I forgot to actually even
I wish.
Put any of that in.
I forgot about it.
I wanted to get that nameplate.
I did get the nameplate. I just
nice.
Turned it on and stepped away from my computer. That's all I ever do.
How you doing?
Here we go.
I still need to do that for the was it the Hella?
Yeah.
Skin?
Yeah.
I don't want to miss out on that.
Did you get any of that yet? Because that's 4 hours is the Hella.
Yeah. I was watching a lot of the tournament before that.
Check my drops here.
You know, if you're actually watching us, you might get it.
It works.
Because our drops, we have drops.
Does it?
Yeah.
I'm at 25%.
There you go.
For the costume, but I have everything else.
But we have to be playing Rivals, right? Or do you have us under the Rivals category?
I have us under the Rivals thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're under Rivals. Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
16.
Well, let me just, we got everything going there. What do you guys say? You want to do it?
Well, let us do it.
All right.
Yep.
So, Rivals Assemble, episode 12. Let's do it. Here we go. And I hit record here, and we're recording, and here we go. You know what time it is. That's right. It's time for Rivals Assemble, a Marvel Rivals podcast. I am your host, Mark Turcott, and you are tuned into episode 12. Well, it is freezing here in the Southeast, but you know where it is warm? On the Marvel Rivals maps. That's right. The Spring Festival has fallen upon us. And we're going to break it all down for you here on the podcast, as well as get into all the latest news. We have some Namor Lore coming up a little bit later. Say that 5 times fast. And in a couple minutes, we're going to announce the winner of our first ever giveaway. So to do it all with me here, first up, Neil. Neil, what's up, dude?
Protect your king. Hey, guys. Excited for another episode, hitting the dirty dozen episodes.
Yes.
With that spring fling going on here. So, yep, it's going to be great. So the spring festival, that is different from the Lunar New Year, I guess, right?
I guess so. I mean, it's like I said at the top here, dude, it is not feeling like spring at all. It seems a little bit early to be jumping into the spring festival, but
middle of a cold snap.
Here we are. We're doing it. And also here joining us, Ken's. Ken's, what's up, dude?
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I'm here, and it is cold and not warm like spring.
I don't know. You know what I think is actually getting me warmed up is actually playing the new game mode is actually getting me a little fired up because, I have some thoughts about that. And we're going to talk about that here a little bit here on the show. But, of course, Matt's not with us this week. He did give us a very, very nice lore dump here of Namor. We're going to play for you guys a little bit later. Almost 12 minutes. He basically said he just kind of skimmed the surface here and didn't even go as deep, I think, as he wanted to with it. But we know that you guys love the lore, so we had to make sure we had some lore here on the show for you. But a little bit of housekeeping here before we get going here. First up, as always, thank you guys here for tuning into the show, especially the audio version, the podcast version of the show. We appreciate it over on Spotify, over on iTunes, whatever podcast service you guys are using. Thank you guys so much for the comments, for the reviews. It's awesome to see that. And continue to push that. Whatever service you're listening to us on, leave us a review over there if you can. It helps move us up the ranks. You can check us out over on Twitter or X or Blue Sky at Rivals Assemble. And, of course, what's up to everybody over in the streams as we're recording this live here on Thursday night. You can find us on Twitch or YouTube at Rivals Assemble Pod. And, of course, you can always email us at rivalsassemblepod@gmail.com. Now, on Spotify, of course, you can leave us comments. We read everybody's comments. We love seeing all that. So we, of course, don't have enough time here on the show to read them all here on the air. And we're going to get to those a little bit later with your questions. But know that we are reading every single one of them. And we also had our poll going this week, guys. So this week we asked, who is the best mid-ranged duelist? And we've had 104 votes this week. So I think a couple more votes than last time. And it was there was one character that was leading almost throughout the whole week until, I think, yesterday, maybe. So by a 1-vote margin, coming in the winner with 26 votes, 25% of the total votes, Moon Knight got the win for the best mid-range duelist, with Storm coming in a 1-vote less second. 25 votes, 24%.
Man,
Storm
needed one more.
And I'm going to say this too. Third, Winter Soldier, 22 votes.
Tight.
21.2%. So
it's tight up there.
That was a close one.
Very close. So what do you guys think?
Out on top.
Moon Knight coming out on the top. How you feeling?
I bet you it's a lot of people just enjoying their new Moon Knight skin.
Sure.
Not me. Gold and black. And then he got a sweet New Year skin as well, right?
Well, the Battle Pass skin, isn't that? That's the black and red one, right?
Too. Yeah, he is
some killer skins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets preferential treatment from the art team, I guess. But he's great. His onk to kind of auto aim kind of deal is very annoying. Get those onks down.
I actually played quite a bit of Moon Knight this week because there was a mission. I think it was in like the Doom match where you had to get like a certain amount of damage as a duelist.
Yep.
And one of the options was Moon Knight. And I think Mr. Fantastic was another one.
Yep.
And so I played a lot of Moon Knight, but it wasn't great. It was not doing me well. So,
well, see, that's the thing. He can get
probably
jumped.
a me problem.
Yeah, he can get jumped, dude. Like if you're especially in
Yeah.
Doom match. I mean, I've had a couple Doom matches where I've played against the Moon Knight, and they're just on the roof. And if you're just kind of in that outside area, and you're coming through that portal, they can just melt you if they drop an Ankh, or even just have an Ankh ready to go, like when you come out.
Right.
But and for people that don't know this, an easy escape with him is he has his little grapple. If you like are under pressure and point at the ground and do that, you actually jump into the air. So that's just a quick try to escape, but depending on who's on you, like if you have an Iron Fist on you, he's just going to stay locked on you and you're dead.
Yeah.
So I could see in Doom match Moon Knight maybe not necessarily being the best, but I know there's somebody out there listening to this right now that is screaming at their thing saying they just
I was
own
not
with
having a
Moon Knight.
great time, but I did get that mission complete.
He did get a buff though, I think, to his ultimate. Like his ultimate now seems to just melt people in regular
really?
matches.
It slows it's pretty significant amount, right? So but I don't get any kills with that. Other people do.
But let's look at Storm. Like, I mean, we've talked about it here on the show. Storm now has just raised up the ranks of, like, in my opinion, one of my best duelists for me personally. Like,
she
is just
Storm.
awesome.
I can get kills with. I've been annihilating people with Storm, and it's so much fun.
Is it basic attack, or do you use that thunderstorm, like the AOE thing, and then you activate it and it hits? Does it hit everybody within your?
It's
your
random electricity bolts, and so like when I play here, I'm always like on the ground. I always come down because the lower you are, the wider that is. And then it's just randomly, just anybody that's in that is going to hit them. But you still want to just be using your auto attacks. And then she has that one that she kind of conjures up, and then if you're even lucky and get a Thor with you as well, you get that extra
chain lightning.
I mean, it's just she's
So
ridiculous.
good.
But what the interesting thing about this poll is, had we run this just 2 weeks ago,
Right.
she would be at the bottom of the barrel, right? She probably wouldn't even be. I mean, Punisher got 10 votes, Scarlet Witch got 10 votes, Squirrel Girl got 11. Storm would have been probably even less than that. Like she would have just got like the 2 or 3 pity votes, probably. Right, but now here she is,
representation votes,
and she was the one that was winning all week. It was Storm that was winning until just a day ago. It went up to Moon Knight.
All it takes is one good patch.
Yeah. So let me ask you guys this. So originally the plan was for our best duelist vote to be Iron Fist and Hawkeye, who won the last 2 for long range and dive, and then now whoever this is, Moon Knight. Should we throw in? Do you think that we should throw in Storm? And then maybe even Winter Soldier? Or should we just
What if we have top 2 of each poll?
But some of them were blowouts, though, weren't they? Like, let me go back to the dive. I mean,
I think Hela was close for long range. But
let's see. Best dive duelist. Okay, so that was within 2 points. So it was Psylocke and Iron Fist. That was just 2 votes. And then last week, dude, Hawkeye was 42. The closest was Namor and Hela at 21. So he got double. So
I don't know. Yeah, we'll think about it.
I say we keep it true to the score.
Okay.
And just do, we keep the votes, keep it how it was voted.
All right.
As much as I would love to add Storm to it.
Okay.
She didn't win.
So there you are. So next week's poll will be best overall duelist in the game. Iron Fist, Hawkeye, or Moon Knight. So go over on Spotify. You'll see the poll over there for this episode. And get your vote in. Get your voice heard. And we'll tell you who next week you decide is the best overall duelist. Now, we also had a giveaway, our first ever giveaway here on the podcast. I'm running here for the last week. We were giving away 2 separate or 2 different issues of the Fantastic Four. Matt went. We described them last week in the podcast, as well as a tub of G Fuel. We'll be going to a tub. We'll be not a bathtub. We're not giving you a bathtub.
It's what I picture. Honestly, I picture
have a bath in the stuff.
Just laying in the tub, dude. After I told Ken's earlier, I started going to the gym again this week. I need to go lay in a tub, dude. Like I'm dying. As we're sitting here talking, my hand is like going numb. It's terrible. I don't think a tub full of G Fuel though would help that at all. But so the winner's going to get these 2 Fantastic Four comics as well as a tub of G Fuel. And we had 12 entries via email at rivalsassemblepod@gmail.com. And all we asked was that you send us your favorite Fantastic Four villain. Didn't matter really what you were putting in there. Some people gave us just short answers. Some gave us One guy, I'm not going to say the name, seemed like he literally just typed into Chat GPT because it was like the most ridiculous
An essay.
the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Work smarter, not harder.
Amazing.
The future is now.
But because we had 12, and because we are tabletop gamers as well, we've decided to roll a D12, and I wrote everybody's name down just randomly, 1 through 12. And Neil right now is going to roll the D12 and Reality Infinity Stone? Is that what we're calling this?
It's black
Reality
and
Stone.
red, and we're going to
Scoured the cosmos to find it.
Here we go. Let's see which time stream wins. You guys ready?
Do it.
That's a 2.
That
sir.
is a 2. So this one is Steven Treviso. So congratulations, Steven Treviso. He says his favorite Fantastic Four villain, it's Doom. He is the most iconic, even above Galactus, in my opinion, he says.
Oh, wow.
Of course.
Yeah, so he goes by Trey. So Trey, you won, my friend. So we will be reaching out to you via email. Get your mailing address, and Matt will get all that mailed out to you this week. So congratulations, my friend. And hopefully, we're going to be doing more giveaways here in the podcast. So be on the lookout, keep listening, and we'll let you know when our next giveaway is. So
let us know how you enjoy those comics. Give us a little review.
Yeah, we expect a review of that. And
is Doom in one of them? I don't remember.
Yeah, just don't drop it in your tub of G Fuel if you're bathing
It's
in the
very
G Fuel.
important to remember.
Don't drop it. I don't think comics,
laminate it first.
they don't do good in a tub full of G Fuel. All right, well, let's move on here to our news segment that we call the Not So Daily Bugle News.
J. Jonah Jameson here.
All right. Well, as we mentioned here at the top of the show, the Spring Festival has deployed here upon Rivals, guys. And bringing with it, we got some new skins. We got a new game mode. Let's talk about this game mode first. I think that's kind of the best place to start. And it is called Clash of the Dancing Lions. And like immediately when I saw this trailer, I was like, okay, well, when we did the Winterfest, we added Splatoon to Rivals.
Yep.
I guess now we're adding Rocket League to Rivals.
Yep.
I mean, it's
Watch out, Fortnite. Coming.
But let's say in practice though, it is different than Rocket League. I will say, like it
just looks like Rocket League from the outside.
So if you haven't played the mode yet, I mean, it's available in the game now. So definitely get in there. There's missions to complete. We're going to talk about the skin in a minute, but you get a Star-Lord skin from completing the event.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially it's Star-Lord, Iron Fist, and Black Widow. And their abilities have been scaled down a bit. And think of a Rocket League arena, and there's a ball in the middle. It's first to 10, I believe, or it's still a 4-minute timer. And rather than like Rocket League, or if you've ever even played like Lucio Ball in Overwatch, you're not actually, I mean, you can toss the ball, but in here they more or less want you to grab the ball because the ball will stick to you as if you're, playing soccer or football, whatever you call it. And you have to run, and it's not hit it in the goal. You actually have to run into the goal. If you run in the middle, you get 3 points. If you run on either of the outer edges of the goal, you get 1 point. And you can hit the other person, and just by hitting them, they call it intercepting the ball or knocking the ball away, because that was a challenge this morning. I had to get 3 intercepts in one game. Iron Fist, you're able to jump 3 times, I think, like jump up high, and you can do his kick where he kind of spins forward. As Black Widow, you're able to charge up and throw the ball far, or she can also sprint, kind of like how Captain America, his R1, you hit it and he sprints.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then I didn't get a chance to play Star-Lord. What was his kit?
He can. He was usually the leftovers whenever I got in there, so I usually played him. But he can fly, so like he can jump up and fly. He can do like this like front kick, and then he has this like spinny gun attack that he does.
Okay.
And that attack is really good for like intercepting the ball. And then it's not technically a sprint, but like he jumps and then he can fly and he gets a little speed boost, and then you're just like above everyone flying with the ball. So it's great.
Yeah. So what do you think, man? I mean, I know you were playing a little bit here before we went on the air.
I like it. I can see. I don't know that I'm with the Jeff mode. I enjoyed it, and I was like, man, I kind of just like want to play this. But this is more like, yeah, I'll play it and maybe get the missions done, and then maybe not again. But it's cool, and it's cool for what it is, and I am all for custom game mode, take me back to Halo 3 Forge, give us crazy stuff to play that has nothing to do with anything else in the game. It's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of, I guess, the latter part of what you said there, where it's like, I'm going to play it to get the event done. But like the minute I have the Star-Lord skin, I'm just kind of done with this mode. Like I don't want to say it wasn't fun. I mean, it was neat. I'm glad they're doing things like this, putting this in the game, because it's totally just surprising. I mean, just like the Winterfest mode, like totally surprised everybody. Didn't expect this at all. So it's kind of neat that it's in there, but I would say this one seems like you need a little bit more coordination, I think, than you needed in the Winter Festival. You have to have a team that actually wants to play. You need people on defense. I think
don't underestimate defense. It's very important.
And I think too here, because the characters play so differently and have their abilities, that comes into play too. Like you need to know which character you're playing and how to play them. Like there's literally a strategy that's going to develop out of this. There's going to be like a Dancing Lion mode meta, where like your Iron Fist is your backline, or however that plays out. And I mean, it's so early on, but I can guarantee you, like you're going to see videos on YouTube of like, here's what your team should be doing. Here's the role that you should be playing. Because the one thing, like with Black Widow, I had 2 matches as Iron Fist and 1 as Black Widow. That sprint, once you can get away from people, you're gone.
Yeah, you're gone.
Like, so if she can break through that line and you have the ball, you're gone. Unless you have
back super quick too.
Yeah, so there's definitely going to be some strategy to it. And I think that's what I don't want to say was frustrating about it, but it was like when it came time for that third game, which really was my closest game, we had one guy on my team that was just not playing like he should. And so I'm getting frustrated. I'm like, oh, dude, like, come on, I need you doing this. But it's like, all right, this is just a fun game mode, right?
Yeah,
it's not. But Neil, did you get in to give this a shot yet?
I have not tried it yet, but I have to say these new costumes are great, and I love Star-Lord's flow. He's got some nice hair, blonde, shoulder length, like a lion,
locks.
Looking great. And that is the reward for the end of the event, right? You go through all your things, and you get that. So I will definitely be shooting for that because it looks
it's like the Jeff thing where you're earning points to add to like a card, but it's like a painting, and so you add like paint to it, and it creates like a it kind of fills in the colors of the painting. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, what they were showing in the trailer where it's who is it, Black Widow and or not Black Widow, who's in the, is it Black Widow that's in there?
I think it's Black Widow, the painting,
or Squirrel Girl that's in the image, whatever it is. That's basically going to be your gallery card. So again, if you want to just continue your in-game collection of items, you're going to want to take part in this event. You get it from missions within the event itself, and then also the challenges that come out every 2 days. You can get some paint in there as well, which was kind of odd. Yesterday, the challenges rewarded paint, but the mode wasn't available yet.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you guys noticed that. So yesterday I was like, my challenges popped and like paint was a reward. And I was like, oh, okay. So I guess paint is going to be what we're going to be using for this event. And then today I woke up, the missions were there, but of course the challenges are every 2 days. I didn't have any challenges. So I was like, all right. Yeah. There's a nameplate, there's a spray. And then the final one, of course, is the Lion's Mane Star-Lord. So here's what they had to say about this. They posted this over on their Twitter page. They said, stepping in the Spring Festival spirit with Star-Lord's Lion's Mane costume. The majestic lion soars with auspicious energy, reigning over the mountains as 1,000 stars illuminate the universe, casting a celestial glow upon the land, heralding the arrival of spring, even though it's January.
Yeah, I've just got to give them just a ton of credit for doing making the featured skin like that for free. This is the second free skin I think you can get this season, with the Thor one, and then now Star-Lord, and we have the Jeff one, and so it's great.
Yeah, I mean, of all these skins, this, not that I was planning on purchasing any of them, but the Star-Lord one is the one that I probably would have purchased. And the fact that they made that be the free one, I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'll take that. Heck yeah. Give it to me for free. Let's see, the Iron Fist one, they say Iron Fist unveils the spirit of the lion, channeling the ancient energy of Kunlun. Iron Fist's lion's gaze costume embodies boundless strength and grace. His lion-inspired attire captures the brilliance of both the sun and the moon, a tribute to the courage of the Spring Festival. So
nice.
Yeah, that one's looking. And the cool thing is, in the event, you get to play with those
with the skins
on. Right. So that's cool too, so you get to kind of experience it.
Are they different colors for each team? Like, how can you tell
There's a thing above your head, like
Yeah.
there's like a little icon that's either red or blue, and that's how you tell who's on your team and not.
And there's also, was it a plus sign or something that showed, or maybe an X where the ball is too? So if the ball was like
there's a thing above the ball. Yeah.
Turn around. Let's see the Black Widow skin. They say the pulse of the Spring Festival beats with Black Widow's stunning lion's heartbeat costume. Draped in vibrant hues, her very step echoes the festival's lively drumbeat, igniting hope and courage among her allies. So
nice.
Yeah.
And Kenz, I know you said that Star-Lord, he uses his gun with his kind of auto shoot Reaper thing. Do you get to use Black Widow's gun at all, or no?
No, she just sprints, and then I think she has like a kick, like a spinny kick.
Her left trigger, if you hold her left trigger down, she charges and throws the ball real fast.
Yeah.
So kind of like how you would aim down the sight.
I
think that's what it's like. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of toss it.
Nice.
But that's the thing. Like, I'm sure there'll be people that'll get good with this, but it's like passing seemed a little slower than it should have been, maybe to me. So
it's all about the intercepting.
Yeah, it's just about kick everybody, kick them all.
Yeah,
blow them up.
Awesome. So it's cool. You know, again, something not expected, and you know, it's still just sometimes I don't want to say kills me, but it's like, you know, we're in this Marvel game and they're doing things with these characters that you never expected. But it all kind of just makes sense with like what the I don't know, the story, the lore of this game with different chronoverses and all that. It's like, okay, yeah. So in this chronoverse, this is what these characters are doing. They're just running around kicking the ball. And you're in the intergalactic Wakandan is where you are. So it's like, okay, this is just some arena that they built up there, and this is what we're doing.
You think this is like their Mortal Kombat, and the winner gets to keep their Chronoverse?
Could be.
Happens every 12 years.
Stakes are high.
Bring your best. What is it? What is the actual game called? Just like Spring Festival Ball, Dragon Ball. No,
dancing. Something of the Dancing Lion.
Something Dancing Lion. Yeah.
Yeah. Bring your best champions to defend your universe.
Clash of Dancing Lions. That's what it's called.
There you go.
Mouthful.
Yeah. Let's see. Along with this Spring Festival, we also got a new update to the game, which is cool. You know, they're just putting out these updates, and you don't even have to like close the game and get in. It just was kind of a live update that went out.
Yeah,
game didn't go down. So it, of course, brought the new game mode, the new costumes, but then also brought in some optimization, a bunch of bug fixes. I mean, we can go through these. I really don't want to because it's a lot of it's like nothing major in terms of tweaking the kits or anything. But
I think you got it all there. So did you have to do a additional download? Or it's just like streams when you turn it on?
I think we're supposed to
stream.
stream.
I did have a 3 gig download that I had to do.
Yeah, okay. But then
that might have been something else because I hadn't played in a few days. I don't know, but
because you would have to download the assets from the map.
Yeah, but the thing is that the game wasn't down, so like they didn't take the game offline.
Right.
They just
there was
like
no
put out the
downtime.
patch.
Okay.
Yeah, because it went down right when season 2 came out, didn't it?
Yeah, for a little bit.
Yep. So it's cool they're gonna put these out, and you know, I wonder. Well, I didn't see. Now that I'm thinking about it, I wonder if when it went down before season 2 launched, did they give the server-wide message? Have you guys seen anything? Because like I know there was that server-wide message day one when the game came out, saying about the like buying the battle pass and all that. Like, hey, we're having issues with the store. I wonder if they did the classic like MMO, like, you know, the servers are going down in 30 minutes. Servers are going down in 50. You know,
we were playing because it was Thursday night, and I do remember seeing a message in the chat that said like, hey, at whatever this time, you know, it'll be going down.
Nice. And your
ranking
ranking
a little bit after the show. Yeah.
Right. Your rank froze, and that's it. And servers going down because it was like a few hours. I think it was down.
Yeah, cool. Let's see some other news we got this week. We learned that there is going to be another crossover, and this time with the new MCU movie coming out, Marvel's Captain America: Brave New World. There is a promotion going with Regal Cinemas, and if you go and buy tickets for the movie through Regal, now through February 17th, you'll receive an exclusive digital bundle of Marvel Rivals items. So you get a spray, a nameplate, and the spray is pretty sick. It's the Red Hulk hand grabbing the shield. The nameplate is sweet. It's Falcon with his wings kind of thrown out with the shield on his back, and a mystery costume. Which, come on, it's got to be Red Hulk, right? How is it not Red Hulk? Like, because it's not going to be Falcon. They're not going to have you run around as Captain America as Falcon, because I would assume Falcon would have a whole separate kit, right? He'd be an actual different character. So it's got to be a Red Hulk skin. But
we'll see.
They have yet to unveil this, and you, again, have to buy it through Regal, and you have to be a Regal Crown Club member, which is a free membership, but you do have to be a member of that to, I guess, get this promotion. So very soon I'm going to become a Regal Crown Club member because I have to have the spray.
It's working. It's working.
Yeah, I don't have one of these theaters anywhere close to me, so I don't know if this will happen, but the nameplate looks super cool.
Well, here you go, Ken. So, and I'm just throwing this out there. Now, some of the skins in this game are like, what, $15, $20?
Well, sure.
What if you just buy a ticket to a theater on an early, matinee showing, and it's like $10 at a Regal, and you just get
I'm just buying a skin at that point.
But
depends on what it is.
I mean, I'm serious though. Like, this way you're still getting it. So people out there, you don't have a Regal near you, but you want that mystery. Which, I mean, I don't know if they're going to unveil the mystery skin until after, but when they're going to show that. But yeah, I mean, I would assume we're going to know what that skin is very soon, because it says you have to buy it by February 17th. The movie comes out the 14th, so people are going to
want people to pre-order their movie tickets.
Yeah. But we're going to go see it, actually. I think that's Saturday, so whatever day
I'll
that is,
see it
15th.
Whatever launch that Thursday or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be there.
Yeah, we won't be recording the podcast that night, so.
I might pick a different night.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But I just think it's cool they're doing this, man. That, hopefully moving forward now, this is just going to be something that they do, because it's like, well, if you're going to go see the movie anyways, and it's like, okay, well,
yeah,
I'll get something cool out
go
of it.
to that. I don't think we have any of these theaters in my whole country, so
There's not. I think there's one in my state, but
it actually blocks me from going to their website. They don't want any Canadians hacking.
Okay, well, let me see. I have my wife, me, and 2 kids. There's 2 of you. That's two tickets, and maybe I wonder if Matt has a Regal. Maybe he doesn't. So we can.
Yeah.
I can go to this thing for free and get you guys skins.
Yeah,
there we go.
That's great. But yeah,
awesome.
So I think this is cool, and again, I think it's got to be a Red Hulk skin. There's no other skin I could possibly think of.
So he was shown in, I guess, the trailer.
What?
He was shown in the trailer.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and you can see in the spray that's the cap shield with like the Red Hulk around the. It's like he's like palming it. So
that's awesome.
I think there's a poster of that, isn't there? Like, isn't that one of the posters where it's like he's got the shield in his hand?
So the lead up to this movie, is it just the Falcon Winter Soldier TV series?
Yes, I would think so. Yeah, I don't think you would have to. Although there's one scene when you see in the trailer they're fighting, and I can't tell what's in the background. It almost looks like maybe the Celestial that has fallen. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I mean, a lot of it seems to be supposed to be. I don't quote me on that, but there's something big in the background. And I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, there's not. I don't know. It just looks weird. I'm like, I don't know what that is.
I saw the first trailer. I haven't seen anything else.
So. It looks good. Looks good. But, and I will say, look forward at some point. There will be a breakdown of this movie here coming to this podcast feed, possibly. So that may be some other content we're gonna get coming out.
When are we gonna get a? I guess he's not Falcon. He's Captain America. But when are we gonna get a Falcon in the game? I mean,
I don't know.
Flyer.
That would be sweet. Kind of go up, even he can like do something like a big blast with the wings. Maybe some razor blades off the wings would be sweet.
Yeah.
Something that I believe, I haven't played Marvel Snap in a while, but they do a lot of cross promo with the seasons and the movies coming out or whatever, right?
Yep.
So I wonder if they're going to start syncing that up with new MCU movies coming out, having that season kind of go with it. Or I guess besides this promotion, it would be cool to have the story line up too. If that would be sweet for our summer season. Is it going to be a Brave New World kind of thing, or there's a couple other movies coming out this year? So it'd be cool.
Yeah, I think the issue with that is that in a year like this year, there's a lot of Marvel content coming out. So it's just like the game
Favorite.
doesn't ever have its own thing. It's just like
Right.
constantly like recycling the new movie that's coming out.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
'cause
sure they will
when's
do
Daredevil?
some
March
stuff with it, but
or February? Isn't Daredevil start in March?
yeah,
or February?
it's somewhere around there. I don't know.
So it's like
That's
you
a
have Brave
TV
New
series,
World,
right?
you have Daredevil, and then you have
Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts. So
And
Right.
they're
that's April. I
it's
think.
supposed to be Blade, but that's
Yeah, no, there's no Blade this year. But yeah, so it would be kind of hard to run seasons, I think, with that.
Yeah.
But
Just these packs, right? With different,
yeah, this is cool. Just doing something, not having like a whole season around, the movie, but having some type of promotion is neat.
yeah, well, you mentioned the Snap promotion. Magic is coming to Marvel Future Fight. So we knew that they were doing this Future Fight promotion as well. They've kind of been going across all these Marvel games. And, I know Matt is a very big Marvel Future Fight player, fan. Isn't it kind of like an isometric
I have
Marvel
no clue.
game?
I have
Maybe
no idea
people in the
what
chat
that
help
game
us
is.
here. I think
This was the one that Luna Snow came from, right?
correct.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
That
I
I
did
know for
look
a
this
fact.
up. It is like an isometric action
Yeah.
game.
And I think
for the
you
most
run
part.
like kind of little missions is kind of how it works. It's like, okay, let me do this mission and you're getting currencies after it. And I would assume it gets to the point where you can just like auto complete the missions, as you get stronger and all that. You're
Yeah.
building the different heroes. But Magic, specifically Rivals Magic, is coming to the game. So that
Okay.
aesthetic and everything that she looks like.
Oh, cool.
It says, transcending dimensions, the mystical duelist ascends in an extraordinary collaboration. Marvel Rivals Magic steps through the portal into Marvel Future Fight. Prepare for the realms to collide. So, is it realms or chronoverses to collide? What are we doing? Are we doing
Is that
realms?
game like Ultimate Alliance?
Kind of, but it's not. Ultimate
Yes and
Alliance
no.
is more of a, full-on action RPG, I guess, if you
Yeah.
want to say. But in the end, Future Fight's kind of that, but I think you're doing shorter because it's a mobile game. It's not like big, long levels. It's much shorter. That's from what I can remember of it. If it's the game
Love
that
some
I'm thinking
Ultimate
of.
Alliance, man.
Oh yeah, dude. I have it. I actually have on my PS5 installed 1 and 2. I was able to get like the digital, which
They
they weren't
delisted
selling
them,
on the
right?
store anymore. They delisted them, but I was able to purchase the keys from somewhere. Let's just put it that way, and have them on my system now. So,
Nice.
yeah, because those games are awesome. Let's see some other just kind of weird news that I actually just found this out today. And I never even knew this thing even existed, but it's over on the Marvel Rivals website under news. There was something about this Razer Cortex event. And my son was familiar with it. I was trying to kind of ask him what Razer Cortex is. And essentially it's a app, I guess, you install on your PC. And it's supposed to like boost the way that your system works. I don't know if it's your CPU, your GPU, whatever it's tapping into. But as long as you have this thing on, they have select games, Razer does. It's basically incentivizing you to use this application. They reward you with silver. And with this silver, then they have this reward store where you can go in and buy things like you can actually save up enough to literally buy like a Razer mouse or a Razer gaming chair, keyboard. But also it's things like an $5 Xbox gift card or whatever Fortnite card. And what they're doing now with Rivals, they've added Rivals to one of the games you can play. So as long as you just play the game, and I think it's like every 5 minutes or every minute you earn this silver. But for a certain amount of time, so from January 24th to February 7th, you earn double the silver if you're playing Marvel Rivals. So take that for what it is. It's called Razer Cortex. I don't know if anybody's really familiar with it out there. I guess it's a way to optimize your gameplay, I guess is what they say.
Today.
Yeah, it's a thing that is there. And if you're into that, make sure you are playing Rivals because you're going to get double the silver. And if you're not familiar with it, go check out the rewards. I was looking at it, and like I said, there's some cool things. I'm looking. You can even get a Burger King gift card.
What?
You can go buy a Whopper. Yeah, here we go. Burger
have
$10 Burger
Right,
King gift card.
reward yourself.
Can I get a tub of Whoppers? That'd be next giveaway.
Survive? I don't know.
Starbucks, you get a tub of Starbucks, I guess.
Oh boy, that'd be hot. Well, we
geez.
need it with the weather right now.
Sephora,
Give me
you can
something
go
hot.
get your makeup if you want. My daughter
That's
would love
interesting.
that.
They must Razer must use it to like track how you use their equipment or something, so they can.
Yeah.
Like they're obviously getting something out of it.
You get a 1-month NordVPN membership, so you can buy your Regal tickets.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
This is all like I have a similar thing that like every time I get gas, if I like use this this app and tell them that I'm at a place getting gas, then it gives me like a little bit of money towards everything you just said. So I think that it's just another one of those things, which is cool. I mean, it's like it.
Yeah, why not?
It
Right?
works.
You're buying it anyway,
Yeah,
right?
I know.
Give them their data they want to improve their gas.
Yep, they're crowdsourcing it.
Yeah. You can have my data. Give me my
advertising.
Let's see, and then finally we had issue 6, the final issue of the Marvel Unlimited Infinity comic did come out. Neil, did you get a chance to jump in?
I did.
And
I
read
did
the finale.
It actually made the kids' bedtime story time tonight. So,
have they heard the other ones?
Excited to.
Did they know?
I kind of gave them the rundown.
I'm sure it wasn't. It didn't take you too long.
First 5 issues, they're fighting.
Yeah. And you know what? Nothing. Yeah, again, it's
Jeff's in it.
They say nothing burger.
So what happened? Because I didn't read it.
So they're on the Tokyo map, and Penny Parker gets the web of life and destiny and sticks it into the
sticks it into the where?
The chronomium. I don't know. The end. It's like, when you play the map, right? You get it to the guy's house, and stuff happens.
Yeah, but she punches it and nothing happens. And who the villain we thought was Jeff after last week, that him and Namor were gonna team up so Jeff could get all the sardines that he wanted. Namor knows that, or I'm sorry, Jeff knows that Namor's spear is loaded with chronovium. So he takes the spear and stabs it in, and then it like saves the Crowniverse or whatever, sends everybody back to where they're from. And that's kind of the end. There's a moment between Penny and Peter where Peter reveals that he is not actually Penny's father. That's kind of in there.
Yeah, neat. So Jeff doesn't get his villain arc after all.
No.
He actually backstabs.
He
Namor.
just sucks.
Yeah. Namor's like, all right, we're gonna take it over, and then Namor forgives him at the end too. He's like, all right, Jeff, no problem. I respect you.
And then at the very, very end, you have the two Dooms fighting. It like flashes to them, and then it shows the Fantastic Four at the end, including Thing and Johnny. And then if you kind of scroll through the credits, it says like, look for more Marvel Infinity Rivals like soon or something like that. So there is going to be another series. This one clearly was just focused on Tokyo 99, or 2099, even though they didn't really specify that. I thought, like, after kind of seeing that, you thought they would have, I guess, specify that in there, but they didn't.
No, at the end, they did flashes to the other. You got to see.
True, the other maps. Yep,
the other maps too. So maybe they'll do one on there, but.
No Midtown though, or any of that, right? I think the Fantastic Four, you just saw them like in Doom's palace or whatever, where he's fighting, where the two Dooms are fighting. But you did see Clintar, Asgard, what else? Wakanda. Yeah, all that was in there. And supposedly, I don't know when this is. I don't have all the details, but they are bundling this into a physical graphic novel that's coming out. Which, cool. I'm glad they're doing that, but. The Infinity Comics, I don't know. I mean, I think Matt talked about did he buy the Jeff collections?
He saw it at least.
Yeah,
he said they did a good job of panel to panel. I don't know if it would be like something you flip up and down because they're more, portrait instead of landscape. But
it is weird too, just going from your phone reading the Infinity Comics where you're scrolling up and they look great. Yeah, but then when I usually read my Marvel Unlimited, it's on my tablet, and those pictures blown up, the fidelity of them.
Oh, it doesn't look.
It's not as good. So I almost wonder when you're flipping through the book, are they like, what are they going to do to sharpen those images?
Upres it, yeah.
And then why doesn't it upres it on my tablet? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I just want some other stories physically in my hands. Give me these lore bits that they're dropping with the challenges and stuff are so freaking good. Give me some art and some real meaty comics with some of that. That'd be awesome.
Give me a physical season 1.
Yes.
Like it actually looks like in your game, but
Yeah.
give it to me with the text and all that too.
Or just give
I
me
don't know
the
how you
TV
do it,
show.
like not a pop-up book. With my son has some. They're like lift the flap, because when you look at it in the game, it's just the pictures, right? And then you hit the button to read it, and then it's the big, the actual story bit. But maybe I wonder how they could do that.
Yeah. I don't know, but I want a TV show. Give me the show. Just do
Yes.
it. Let's do it. What are we doing? Or it'd be cool if like after the first year of content, or maybe even season, like just give us an animated 5 or 6 minute short, like summarizing everything that happened in that season. I think that would be neat.
Or a single episode of What If that's from something like this. Just a little nod to this. Just like they give a little nod to like the Sony Spider-Man, and a couple of things. Just
did they?
Something. Not in What If, but in he's in
Spider-Verse, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That
cool.
would be sweet. Which, by the way, man, dude, when that movie comes out, that would be the one I would really want to see them kind of like combine. Maybe do the season somehow with that.
A whole
Spider-Verse season would be great. Which I'm sure at some point they're going to do something like that.
Yeah.
But all right, well, that's pretty much it for the news this week. I didn't really have anything else in there. So let's move on here to our lore segment that we call the Cerebro Files. All right. Well, as requested, this week we are talking about the one, the only, Namor. And Matt, of course, like we said, he went ahead and gave you a nice little recording here. So we're going to turn it over to him because he, of course, is the lore master here on the show. So without further ado, take it away, Matt.
Hey guys, it is Matt. Sorry I'm away for another week, but the hustle never stops. But neither does the lore. Thank you to everyone who has shown such love towards these segments. It is something that we thought of, just as a fun way to expand upon the characters in game, but apparently it's loved a lot. So we're looking at some ways to do some more with it. So stay tuned for more on that. But this week we are talking about Namor the Submariner. And I got to be honest with you guys, he is one of my least favorite characters in comics. Hot take, I know. But in a nutshell, I think that Namor is like that mean girl in high school that we all knew who went into nursing in college. So, she has some redeemable qualities and does good every now and then because, she recognizes what is right and what she needs to do. But you can't really forgive and forget the things she did in the past. Sometimes things that are so egregious that you shouldn't forget. So hopefully I'm not the only one who identifies with that. But yeah, so Namor, you might know him as the Submariner. You might know him by his battle cry, Imperious Rex, referring to his heritage. He is half human and half Atlantean, with his origins spanning back to, well, not his origins, but the origins of Atlantis spanning back to the time of the Celestials. Now, because comics, Atlantis has a few different histories that have been retconned and, mushed together over the years, but the most simple explanation is Atlantis used to be a city on top of the earth, on land. And during the time of the Celestials, when they originally came to Earth and did their experiments, which created the Eternals, the Deviants, and then what would become known as mutants, Atlantis was established during that time, and they existed on the earth until the cataclysm, basically the second coming, not to get biblical or anything, but the second time the Celestials came to earth and basically wreaked havoc on the earth, trying to wipe out the Deviants, who had amassed power and influence. During that time, they basically sunk the city of Atlantis and another city on the earth. and they sunk to the bottom of the ocean. But through some magic properties, this is something that gets expounded upon in comics, and we hear a few different reasons. The Atlanteans were able to use magic to be able to breathe underwater, which eventually evolved with them as they became, more accustomed to living underwater. Their skin turned blue over generations, and they took on the more aquatic appearance that we are used to in comics. Fast forward all these years, and Namor is the product of one of the princesses of Atlantis and a human man. She went to the surface, fell in love. If it sounds familiar, seems similar to Aquaman, you're not wrong, but that's for an entire other podcast. And so Namor was born of that union. He grew up basically kind of an outcast, but not really. Think of as much of an outcast as someone in a royal family can be. He has this pink, it's referred to in the comics, but white skin compared to the other aquatic beings in Atlantis underwater. And from a young age is taught to, hate the surface world. Fast forward through interactions, he finds himself on land during the Great World War, and he eventually teams up with the Invaders, which is a team consisting of Captain America, the original Human Torch, not Johnny Storm. Yes, there was another one, and some others. He was a part of the All-Winter Squad. He was a part of the Defenders. He was part of the Illuminati. But back during the World Wars, he fought with the U.S. basically because the Nazi German forces found out where Atlantis was and wanted to take it over. So they allied with the U.S., and this was before the U.S. entered that war. Eventually, we have the comic events that unfold with Captain America and Bucky. History, comics, there you go. But yeah, further in the comics, Namor develops relationships with the Fantastic Four, with Black Panther at one time, at many times, resulting in some amazing fights. They're very similar characters as leaders of these nations. Namor eventually becomes king of Atlantis. And flip-flops isn't the right word, but I guess ebbs and flows between this relationship with the mainland, or the world above, if you will, about whether he wants to wipe them out for the wrongs they've committed against Atlantis, whether those are intentional, whether those are perceived, and remembering that he has allied with these people many times. But he has such a long character history, almost, 1939, I believe, was his debut. Correct me if I'm wrong, but such a long history. I want to go ahead and just get into my recommendations for books that you can read on him. There are a lot of smaller series, either titled Namor or The Submariner, which feel free to get into. In the large scope, they are great stories, but sometimes it's a bit of a slog to get through them. Let's see. One of my more favorite books recently, it was actually one of my first introductions to Namor, was Invaders from 2019. So this is set in, I guess, the World Wars, while he is teamed up with Captain America and Bucky and the original Human Torch. But something is going wrong with Namor, and he has become violent, and he is trying to, I'm trying to not give you too many spoilers. He has this plan to strike out against the human world for things they've done to Atlantis. But this comes out of left field because everybody was working together. And it is a really cool war, spy thriller, intrigue, mystery series That is Invaders from 2019. By Chip Zdarsky. Yeah. So if you need anything else, there's also a good book. It's Namor adjacent, Submariner: The Depths. And if you are a horror fan, then this is the book for you. So this is actually from the viewpoint of a scientist who discovered that Atlantis existed. And it's kind of like a bottleneck story where he and this crew are on board a submarine underwater, and they are being tracked by this water-breathing villain. They're being hunted by him. And it is a great horror book. Kind of psychological thriller too, if you will. So I definitely recommend that. The Saga of the Submariner from 1988, basic 12-issue origin story explaining his early years. It is a great way to get into Namor if you know nothing about him. There's also a one-issue, I believe, in the late 90s. That is a one-shot that explains all of the 12 issues. But if you want a deep dive, that's a good one for you. That is the Saga of the Submariner. There's also Submariner Revolution, which is a really popular book. This happens in the middle of Civil War, the original Civil War. And basically, a terrorist attack is, it's not performed. A terrorist attack happens in the U.S., and S.H.I.E.L.D. has gathered all this evidence and is blaming Namor and the rest of Atlantis for carrying out this attack. Whether or not they did it, that's for you to decide. But another kind of like political thriller, intrigue, good action book. So that is Submariner Revolution. There's also a fantastic 5-issue miniseries during the King in Black event, all about Namor, where it talks about this lost this team almost, of Atlantean warriors called the Swift Tide. And they were tasked with retrieving this ancient stone, which was said to hold the dark power of the old gods. And this power slowly begins to corrupt them. If you know anything about the King in Black event, this is very much that vibe. So that is the Namor series, 5 issues during King in Black. And I would be remiss if I didn't recommend my favorite story ever to feature Namor, Avengers vs. X-Men, where Namor becomes a host to the Phoenix Force, one of 5. He launches a full-scale assault on Wakanda for harboring what he feels are enemies against mutant kind because, kind of buried the lead here, Namor is also the first recorded mutant in Marvel history. His powers, extreme durability, strength, speed, but he has these nifty little wings on his ankles, kind of like Hermes in Greek mythology, which that's actually his mutant power. So yeah, he sides with the X-Men during this conflict. And I will tell you nothing about that. That is worthy of a podcast in its own right. Avengers vs. X-Men, read the entire series. It is so good. Cyclops was right. That's all I have to say. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, not deep dive, but this dive into Namor. I can't wait to be back with you guys again. Thanks for listening, and have a great week, guys. Hey, guys.
All right. Well, there you go, man. Matt just delivering so many different reading lists in that one. You know, there's so much. And I'll tell you, I had never heard of the one that really intrigued me was the Submariner: The Depths, the one that was like the horror story. Yeah. That sounds awesome.
Sounds wild.
Being from the viewpoint of like scientists in a submarine, learning about recognizing that Atlantis is down there, and then have who I assume is Namor, like, I don't want to say haunting them, but just like messing with them. Yeah, dude. Like, I want to read that. I will second his recommendation on Avengers vs. X-Men. Fantastic. Definitely go read that. That is a great series.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
Are you also on Cyclops' side of that?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess. You know me and the Avengers, man, though. Come on, Cap. I'm always with Cap. But I will say, like, my first, because I want to ask you guys, like, Namor is a character that when I think back to when I was reading comics, like, he was always there. I always knew of the Submariner. I never really referred to him as Namor or Namor. I mean, I always called him Namor, Submariner, like, and then suddenly, you know, you start hearing everybody's calling him Namor. So it's like, okay, I guess that's how we're saying it. But I never really either read books with him or just, I don't know, had any affinity for the character or really thought he was a cool character. Never really interests me. And it wasn't until the 2018 Avengers series, which is the one that starts out with them kind of having like these prehistoric Avengers and then it kind of moves to current day. Yeah. He, in the very beginning of that series, kind of in the first, I don't know, maybe 12 issues, 15 issues, kind of becomes a villain. Like he is kind of the villain of that series at some point. And that was really my first exposure to the kind of the current Namor, of that guy that just wants to take over the surface, thinks everybody is, intruding on them, and it's ruthless, and he'll do like whatever it takes. I'm
glad you said that, because that's also mine. That was my, I never really read a book with Namor in it until that. I was like, oh, I guess this is who he is. I just thought he was like another mutant. I didn't really know much more about like Atlantis or any of that. And then he also makes an appearance in X-Men Red. He's in like one issue of that. And I don't think he's a major role, and then the King in Black stuff that Matt talked about, I've also read, but other than that, like that's it, he's kind of a character in the background for me most of the time. And then obviously Wakanda Forever, which, really set it off.
Yeah. Neil, you watched that right this week, didn't you?
I did last night as part of my research. I threw that on, made about halfway, so no spoilers.
Oh, okay.
But the way that they've introduced him in that, I thought was pretty neat, and I read about how he's introduced in the comics and like his origin there, but that kind of changed a little bit. They had like his mom, or I guess the whole thing of Atlantis was, or maybe because I haven't seen the whole movie, it changes, but it seemed like they were land people. They took some special herbs and then dove into the sea, right? And you don't really know who his father is, but maybe that's in the latter part of the movie. It's just a little bit different. But in terms of his origin, it seems like kind of like a little mermaid story too, right?
A little bit.
You're a mermaid in the sea. You go up, you find a nice human, and
there you go.
So maybe there's a crossover waiting to happen there. In terms of him as a character, I feel like he definitely gets overshadowed by the Aquaman, because growing up, you hear about Aquaman, and then I don't know. The first time I actually remember hearing about him was playing Marvel Snap. Honestly. Like,
really?
This guy, he looks like King Triton, Aquaman kind of thing. So.
See, I think of him because like he's one of the original Marvel characters. Like it was Captain America, Submariner, and then Human Torch, which Matt mentioned is not the Johnny Storm that people know. Like I remember just kind of always looking at those old comics and seeing the Submariner there. But, just thinking like, oh, that's an old character nobody cares about. They don't do anything with that character anymore, And then suddenly, 2018, here I am reading Avengers, and he's like one of the main people that's, kind of part of that story. So it's kind of cool. He's had this resurgence. And I think that role of him, rather than being the hero, I mean, I don't even know if you'd call him an anti-hero, because half the time you see him, he's just very... Yeah, he's pissed. He's just pissed off every time.
Mad all the time.
He'll just, he's your like an emo kid, right? He's just, emo teenager.
Underwater emo.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. But
I did do a fact check on Matt's claim. His first appearance was in 1939, Marvel Comics #1.
There you go.
Yeah, he got it.
So who? Okay, so was it Aquaman or Submariner first?
I don't know.
Look up Aquaman. I mean, I would say it might be Aquaman, because I know like Detective Comics, DC Comics, which I guess would be Batman, but like the Superman Action Comics were earlier than Marvel, so that would be what, like 30s? So maybe they threw an Aquaman in there.
1941 it looks like. So More Fun Comics #73. So a couple of years later, you're not first to do it, but you you do it better, maybe.
Yeah.
Because I knew about him. And I
Yeah,
didn't know
there
he
you
was
go.
really
But all right, so
Well,
there you go. There's our lore
Yeah.
on
Also, in
Namor.
Googling that, apparently his last name is Mackenzie. So I
There you
like to
go.
think that, maybe my
You're a descendant.
mom was a,
You're a
lost
mutant, Ken.
A mermaid?
fan of Namor and decided to name me after him. So
That's awesome. Let's see. We got a message over on Spotify from Christian Chapin, and they said, I love this game. I just wish all the Guardians had a team up. That being said, if we could get Guardians lore, more specifically Rocket, that would be great. The lore section has me hooked every episode. So, Christian, your wish has been granted. Next week, we are breaking down Rocket here on the pod.
if we're watching Guardians 3, bring your tissues, everybody.
Yeah.
Because that's a
That
rough one.
tugged the heartstrings. I watched that a couple weeks ago. Yeah, that was yeah.
Yeah, the Guardians
Great
have a
movie.
weird
Great movie.
The
Amazing.
Guardians, it's a very weird history just in general in comics, because there was like the 1970s Guardians of the Galaxy, which are not the Guardians that you know and love right now.
Right.
And then, the Guardian team that we do know in the movies, which even still has some characters kind of come and go within the comics, was fairly new. I think that it was only out like maybe 4 or 5 years when that movie was like came to theater. So like the fact they were making that movie, I remember just shocking everybody. Like, what? You're gonna make a Guardians of the Galaxy movie? But if you think about it, like in the retrospect, looking back at where the MCU went, it was the most genius thing they could do, because it was like the easiest way to get cosmic, right? It was just like, okay, we're in space, boom, here we go. So they were kind of the perfect bridge. But yeah, we'll get into Rocket next week. I think that's going to be a good one, because I'm not too familiar with Rocket and the comics outside of really his appearance in the that Guardians book that kind of first launched it all. So,
and that third, I don't know how close it is to the real one, but the third Guardians of the Galaxy movie dives right into his kind of origin.
So
Yeah, that's the Rocket movie.
Right.
Yeah, it's good. It's real good.
Very good.
So we'll be getting into that next week for
Awesome.
sure. Well, all right, well, let's move on here to our final segment, the part of the show where we get you involved that we call What Ifs. All right. Well, don't forget, you can always email the show to rivalsassemblepod@gmail.com, or you can leave us a message over on Spotify, just like pretty much everybody here that we're going to mention too did. So the first one comes to us from Angelo Vaughn, and they said, does anyone else have a compulsive need to do all the challenges and unlock the lore pages the day they come out? Angelo, I am right there with you, buddy, because it drives me bananas if I cannot finish something. Because I might have said it here before. Like, I play usually in the mornings before work. I get up early. That's just what I do. I've been doing it for years. I play my games in the morning. And I have a set amount of time, because it's like, I got to start getting ready for work. I have to get on with my day. And if I can't complete my missions or my challenges before that time, it drives me nuts. Now, I will say the good thing about this game, though, and I know, Neil, you've even mentioned this here on the podcast before, is they carry over. So, like in a game like Overwatch, if you didn't complete them all, there was no like room to put more in. You had to fill those in. So then I always felt like I wasn't optimizing my battle pass. Where here in this case, you have those extra slots. So it's like, okay, I've kind of had to reprogram my brain to that.
Yeah, it's carried over. You don't have to do that anymore.
I still feel you though, Angelo. I still feel you. But yeah.
I knew that about you, Mark, that you're very, like it's a
Not
job
surprised.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Gotta check those boxes, gotta do that
do
thing.
it.
I was trying to complete my lore pages when I was playing this week, and I think I still don't have the last two unlocked. The biggest issue for me was, and I think I still need it, is like 50 or something assists.
Oh, my friend.
Like, I feel like I help out a lot, but some games I'm just not getting any assists.
So that was the one this week. So that's that was my final bit of the Empire of the Eternal Night to get the Thor skin. It was driving me nuts, right? I was playing my Cloak and Dagger matches. I was playing even Invisible Woman, not getting the assists. Play Rocket. If you play Rocket and just keep dumping the health, and then when you drop those armor packs, people are picking those up. I mean, I finished it like, I think I had maybe like 30 assists total prior to that. I mean, I finished it in like 3 or 4 matches after that. Rocket just, you will stream through, because especially when you get in a team fight and you drop his ult and it empowers everybody, every kill on that, you're getting assists as well. Because I did learn too, the assists, it's not based on you doing damage. It's on you actually helping a teammate, either by healing them, putting armor on them, boosting their damage. So if you just, like, let's say I hit an enemy and then one of my teammates gets the final kill on them, that's not an assist. That's not how this game is tracking it. The game is tracking it by you actually playing a strategist, helping them.
Assisting.
Literally assisting in their kills. So it's like, now, don't quote me on the fact that, like, you do a little bit of damage and they do it and you're not getting these, you're going to get, or that's not considered an assist. I'm sure for duelists and maybe tanks, that is the method. But, like, as a strategist, in my experience, it doesn't matter. So I'm sitting there, like, banging my head against the wall. I'm like, I have all these kills or whatever, and I'm getting no assists. So Rocket is the easiest way. I played a lot of Rocket this week, even after I was done with the assists, because, like, I haven't really touched him since probably the alpha and beta. And, like, I think maybe played a couple matches in Season 0. And, dude, like, I had a couple matches. I was getting, like, just as much healing as I do with Cloak and Dagger, plus getting all those assists. And I think Rocket's a little underappreciated right now in the game. So
he's fun.
Yeah. Over in the chat, MLTVV says Mantis is also really good for assists.
Right. If you're boosting the damage, right? With her, boost that damage. Yep.
But at some point, because there's assists, there's takedowns, and then there's final hits.
Yeah.
So as long as you're not doing any damage, I guess you can get an assist. But if you get a bunch of damage on them, then it becomes a takedown, right? So you want to
take them down with the big
not
D,
do any damage, which kind of feels bad, but you gotta unlock this story. I gotta see
stop being so good.
Next. Yeah.
Well, I will tell you, the last bit does not unlock story. You're just gonna get the skin. So the one prior to that, I think, gave you the panel. That's where the story is.
Yeah, I still haven't done that one. I'm still stuck on Spider-Man.
Yeah. But it was annoying, and Angelo, I feel you, man, because the event, those are the ones that are driving me nuts, because, like, they take a little bit longer. But you know, the one thing I'll tell you, Angelo, is go in there and look, because that one, I looked at it and it said, like, you still have 42 days to complete this, and I was like, okay, I know I still in my head want to get it done right now, this minute.
Yeah,
but I got time. Let's see. Go ahead.
Oh, and you said you got that new skin, and you used Ken's hot tips from last week, and got a crazy good Thor game with
those
it,
silver
right?
2 tips.
Dude, it was like,
coming in hot.
How about those bronze 2 tips, dude? Right now, man, I'm like, I was like, one of these days I sat down, I was like, I'm going to play comp all day. I'm just going to go and play comp. I played a couple matches, got to bronze 2, and I was like, I'm done.
3 matches later.
I just can't do this. Like, I don't know what it is. I just have no patience for comp right now.
I highly recommend using that looking for group function in the Marvel Rivals Discord, because as soon as you get all 5 people and you know which, well, that too, but you know, like, pick your, you know, you're going to be a support or strategist. You're going to be a vanguard, and you're not fighting with people at the beginning of the game of who you're going to play or whatever, and everybody plays what they're good at. It's just makes a huge difference. And I don't know exactly how it works, but with the matchmaking, I think there's no difference if you're solo queuing or duo queuing or whatever. They just throw everybody in the same pool, and it doesn't. I like some games it shows you who's, like, pre-made, so you can kind of see that on the other
you
side.
would know.
Oh, I'm playing a 6 stack or whatever,
Yeah.
but this you never know. So you just assume everybody who's actually climbing is probably grouping up, which makes things a whole lot easier. And just having comms too is a lot. It's good to have.
Yep.
So,
let's see. Next one comes to us from Justin O'Shaughnessy. I think is how you say that.
Yeah, you got it.
Sorry if I butchered your name. He says, love the pod. You guys are awesome. Thank you, sir. He said, one thing I was curious on your guys' opinion is how the game rewards MVP. I feel like it's so biased towards kills that it's almost impossible to get if you don't lead the team in kills. I've had matches as a support where I go 25, 6, and 15 with 15 healing, and the DPS tank that had 27, 7, and 0, 15 damage always gets the MVP. Also, I feel like the game completely ignores damage blocked when choosing an MVP as well. It feels like it's all kill-based for the MVP. Now, I mean, I would say probably 99% of the time it's based on kills. I mean, I've even had some games where I'm playing a duelist and I have more kills than another duelist and they still get it. And kind of in that case where I would have 25 kills, or I'm sorry, I would have 27, they have 25, and they still get the MVP. So I don't know. Like, have you noticed like what the, I guess, algorithm is for it? Because I mean, even some of those matches, like I said, the Rocket, I had a Rocket match this week. I had almost 30 assists, and I didn't get MVP. And it's like, shouldn't, like, yeah, maybe I only had 6 or 7 kills, but like all those other assists, those guys wouldn't have got their kills if I didn't assist them. Like,
I think it should. I've been surprised sometimes where the strategists have got the MVP, and there've been, like, usually it's games where everybody's doing well, but so I think they do take healing into account. I think, well, I don't know if they do or not, but least amount of deaths should help, because if you're not getting knocked out, you are in the fight helping the team, right? You're not spending that time walking back. So I feel like that's going to be a big one. And if you just make the big play at the end, right? If you use your ult at the right time, that might be the thing that pushes it to the limit too. If you have a really nice highlight, then that might give you your MVP too.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's some numbers, but
I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got another one here from Mark Asbury, and he says, "Hey guys, loving the podcast as always. Another question I have is, I was unaware of the accessibility features the game could offer, such as turning off easy swing for Venom and Spider-Man, as well as getting an indicator that you are healing another player by turning on the notification for it. I stumbled across a video that showed me how to set it all up. I guess my question is, do you think they should show you how to do stuff like that in the tutorial?" Now, I know you guys have used, or at least Neil, you have the easy swing for Venom, right? You have that shut off?
Yep. Yes. Yeah, so you actually aim where you want to attach your webbing. And also there's hold to swing and not. So I have hold to swing on as well. So it gives you just another way to do it. It kind of gives you like a zip line. I can point to a place, use my web, and then just kind of tap it, and it just pulls me towards that spot instead of like going through the full swing.
Yeah.
So I've used that. There's the healing indicator is also nice too, because then you know if your healing shots are actually hitting your team. You have to go into each individual hero to turn that on, and each individual hero has their own kind of like set of specific things you can do. Another thing that they have is anyone that can wall climb, you can change it so instead of always being up on the wall, it can follow your cursor, so your center of the screen, so it's like kind of like you're just walking around but you're on the wall. It makes it a little bit more easier to understand. Well, it depends, I guess, what you're used to at this point, but I've changed that one too.
Yeah. Well, Kens, what do you think? Should the game have a tutorial to
I
show
don't
us all that?
know. The only way for that to, like, for everyone to know is to do like a forced tutorial, and I don't want that. You know, for it to be like, "Hey, welcome to Marvel Rivals. Play this thing real fast," and it's no, I don't want. No, thank you.
Did they have anything?
I don't think so.
No, there is you could opt into the tutorial. I think it was on it was like on the right side in season 0, and it said like, "Do you want to play the tutorial?" And you could like click.
Well, that's cool if it's Yeah, if you can opt into it, then yeah, I don't see any reason why you couldn't have you know, something that maybe not like a direct like walkthrough of accessibility features, but it could open up like the options page and could kind of highlight some stuff just to kind of catch your eye so that you can read through it yourself. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in the game like that you know, unless you're going to a YouTube video or something, or you're reading through every single setting, you're just not gonna see. So
yeah, I know my son in Fortnite, because he's not playing it right now that much, but was a real big Fortnite, like into the competitive and all that with it. Had all these accessibility features on, you know, where you're seeing the footsteps so you didn't have to listen. Like you could literally see in your radial menu where the footsteps are coming from and all that stuff. And like, you know, none of that I don't think was ever really conveyed to the players. That's just that, you know, you just figured that's an accessibility option that they put in there, but he was using it more as like a competitive edge because you're able to literally see where the footsteps are coming from. So this sounds like something kind of like that, where it's like these are accessibility options, but if you want a little bit of that competitive edge, there are things in there that can help you. I think it would be cool if there was a accessibility tutorial to some extent, or even, you know how some games will even give you like it'll say like, you know, are you interested in our accessibility settings?
Right in the beginning,
just go to a video. You know, like, you know how some games will do that, they'll just embed a video into it or take you there. I think that would be neat if people wanted that, because look, these are out there because they give you, like in this case, it's giving players. I don't want to say necessarily a competitive edge, but yes, more control. But there are people who just need some of these things. You know, video companies make these accessibility options for people who need those accessibility options just for their standard way of playing. So I would think it would be cool for them to know that this game offers those type of things, or even if it's just the developers make a YouTube video so someone can go out there and just search it out and here's all the accessibility things we've been doing, which is something we've seen a lot, I think, from developers over the last couple of years now. You've started to see, like, I know Microsoft was real big into it. Even Sony's been kind of doing that. Games like, you know, I think, what was it? Call of Duty, I think, had a video. I think when Spider-Man 2 game, we're catering to everybody. So I think it would be cool if they kind of did something like that with Rivals.
Would be. Why not?
One thing I have an issue with is just how you change your controller buttons and like remapping. It seems a bit buggy to me still, because I've remapped where my ping is, because I moved my jump to one of my clicks, and then I moved my ping to where the X button, which is where you jump. And I have it set. I try and ping, and it depends on what hero I'm playing. Sometimes it just doesn't work. I go look at the options, and it gives you 2 different buttons that you can press for each kind of setting, like a primary and alternate or whatever. And it says that I have it set that way, but when I play the game, it's still not set that way. So
weird.
It's very weird. And the other thing is you have to actually go to each separate character to reset your jump button or whatever.
That's so annoying, dude. Wasn't there like, I mean, I hate to always bring up Overwatch, but in Overwatch you could do it by hero, but couldn't you also do like
a bulk or whatever,
right? Yeah. Like give us that option. Like if that's,
I tried that, but I don't know if it just didn't work or what. You could say make all your X's L3s, but no, it's not working. So I had to go through every character, and it's just kind of annoying. But
that sucks.
That was a bummer.
Yeah.
Let's see. Next one comes to us from John, and he's got a lot of O's in his name. This is in reference to our specialists or strategists taking undue flack, like we talked about at the end of last week's episode. He says, "Y'all were right on, but judging performance strictly from the scoreboard can mislead people, especially at lower levels." Kind of what we were just talking about. He says, if someone is healing up a lot of poke and dropping the ball at critical moments of team fights, causing snowballs and staggers, that only show by watching the replay or being present enough to recognize that in the moment. Often it is the DPS that's out of position and not utilizing cover and health packs, though.
Right.
So he's right. I mean, that there are
Matt
situations.
Here for this one.
I know, but that's the thing. Like, you could heal all day, but if you're not utilizing your abilities for those team fights, like let's say you just heal like crazy, right? You're playing, let's say Luna, and you're healing, but you're dropping your ult at the worst. Like when I say the worst time, it's like at a time that doesn't matter. Like you're not waiting until
the team's already gone or something. Right.
Like when Iron Man is dropping his ult, or what a Psylocke is starting to pop hers or whatever, rather than pop your ult, then you're just popping it when your Black Widow is in the back sniping and she took a little bit of damage and you just happen to hit it. Like there are moments like that when it's like, okay, you just wasted that. Like especially when it comes to comp, that's when you start to see those type of things really making a difference in games.
I like to think about it from a tanking perspective of, if I'm playing Doctor Strange and I'm just sitting there with my shield out, and I'm not really trying to push or be aggressive or cause the team to push in, to make a play. I'm just like holding the shield and blocking all the damage. And at the end of the game, I've got like 25,000 damage blocked. And I'm like, look at how good of a tank I was.
You stood there and
it's
took
like
it like
it's
a
not,
man.
It's not cool,
Well, I talk about that match last week, that comp match I played, and it was we were
Push
on
forward.
Asgard, and it was Magneto and Penny, and it's like we were on offense, and like the Magneto would
Gotta be
not
aggressive.
walk
Yeah.
past the convoy, and the Penny's like dropping the mines on the convoy. I'm like, guys, number one, don't play Penny right now. Play somebody else. Like, I need you playing Venom or Captain America or Hulk, like diving into their team
Or
to
a duelist.
give us the place
Do
to
some
push
damage.
forward. Like, what are we doing? So yeah, and that would be that situation of a Doctor Strange just sitting there. Oh, look at I'm blocking all this, but you're not helping your team by moving anything. Like we're not playing.
Look at
the
these
objective,
numbers,
we're not
though.
pushing forward.
Big numbers.
How do we lose? Look at my numbers. I think one number that really does matter though is your final hits, right? Because if you're taking out the other team, then obviously that's a point where you start to get an advantage. So as a duelist or whatever, getting those last hits instead of saying the damage, right? Those damage numbers aren't as important as getting the last hits, because if you take out a person on the team, that's when the scales start to tip and you can take that point, or you're like starting your team on the way to getting an advantage.
Yep. Let's see. We got one more here. This one comes to us from Micah Launinen, and they said, "Was just wondering, how is it fair that console players are allowed to opt out of crossplay pool, but PC players are forced into it?" So I didn't know that the PC players were forced into it. I thought you could opt out of it. I mean, I just roll with it. Like, I don't really care, because I mean, where it really matters, of course, is in comp, and right there, you're always going to be on the platform that you're playing on.
I wish that it didn't, though. I wish that they would just. It's like I wish that you could pick if you want, to go into what pool, or because I want to play with all of you guys. I want to play comp. I want to play with other people that I know that play on console, and that sucks. That it's that you're not able to get in there. I don't think it matters that much.
I was gonna say, like, is it they just
especially
even
at my rank.
But like last week, the mouse and keyboard debate, or the Zim and all that they were putting in there saying, "Oh, we're not gonna let that." But it's like, in the end, if it is that much of a boost, if someone wants to play cross-play and comp, like, just let them do that. But I mean, it could even be also that on controller there might be some sort of aim assist in there too.
Yes, I think that's what it is.
That's probably more so what it is.
Yeah, and it gives you aim assist while you use mouse and keyboard, which is not on by default, I think, when you use that. Yeah, I think that the idea is that mouse and keyboard is more competitive or whatever, and it's just different. But that's too bad. Like, it's just kind of saying that the PC players wouldn't mind playing with the console players because they're better, right?
Yeah.
But because I guess with PC, you're allowed to use controller too if you want, and I think that's what you do anyway, Mark, right?
I do. Yeah.
So it's like, what's the difference if you're playing with somebody with a controller or not? A controller on a PC or a controller on console. I guess the thing where you'll notice is if everybody's got a really good PC and it loads really quickly, but then you've got like a console player in there and you're waiting for them to start the match, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. It is, I guess, just kind of what it is. But I do see his point, though. Like, how come console players can opt out, PC can't?
Yeah, that is odd. I didn't even know that was a thing.
I didn't either. But maybe that's something that'll change moving down the line. The more people talk about it, Micah, the more they'll listen. So, all right. Well, guys, that's going to be it here for the episode. Again, if you want to reach out to us, go ahead and do so. Best way over on Spotify. You can leave us comments over there or over on our other social feeds on Blue Sky and Twitter at Rivals Assemble. Or, of course, you can always send us an email to rivalsassemblepod@gmail.com. Big thanks to everybody over in the chat, over on YouTube and on Twitch. We did the show live this week at Rivals Assemble Pod. You can find us there. You can actually find the VOD of this too. Over on YouTube, if you click at the live tab, I think it'll be over there. You can see kind of a little pre-show, and the after show is all there. We don't go through and really edit much of that, so you can go check that out. And again, big thank you to all our audio listeners on iTunes, Spotify, whatever podcast service you guys are listening to. Thank you guys so much. And do us a favor, of course. Leave us a review on whatever that service is, because it keeps moving us up the ranks. Because, dude, the numbers on this show have just been going up and up. And, I mean, I appreciate it so much. I know we all do. Like, this is just, it's fantastic. We mentioned earlier in the show about there possibly being a Brave New World podcast, but we got some ideas of other things coming down the line too, and we're going to reveal all those here, hopefully not too far out, but we all kind of got to get together and get our thoughts together and see what we want to do. But there's going to be a lot more content you're going to be able to get from us besides just the regular pod, so definitely be on the lookout for that. And we will be reaching out. Congratulations again to our winner, Trey. We will be emailing you. I'm not going to email him right away. I want him to hear this. So I'm going to wait maybe like 24, 48 hours. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I always wonder that. Like, don't email the people right away, because it's like he's not even going to have a chance to listen to it and just be like, oh, I won. Okay. He'll wake up, see the email, and then but we'll be reaching out to you, man, cool. Very soon. Or even if you just want to email us even from there once you hear it, would be awesome too. Any final thoughts, guys, here as we move into this next week of the game?
Ready for spring, I guess, since they're throwing that on us.
Ready for some warmth. That's definitely what I'm ready for.
So we are 2 weeks into season 1.
Yeah, 2 full weeks. Yep.
Yeah, so we still got some more time. I'm excited for that halfway point that's going to coming up in a few weeks. I'm loving Mr. Fantastic. That is becoming one of my go-to characters.
Nice.
These days, so I'm really getting used to him and enjoying that map for sure. I've fallen off the Doom Clash or Doom match.
Yeah.
But loving the Midtown
map is great.
Midtown map.
I wish we still had the option.
So
I wish they had that playlist still for that map.
Yeah, where you could only pick that one.
Yeah. I actually had it come up in comp this week for the first time too, which was kind of interesting.
It's a good one.
Did you win?
I don't remember.
So probably not.
That's how
probably not.
This week I have not seen Mr. Fantastic as much as I did in week 1. I don't know if people are kind of falling off of him or what. It was like that first week, literally every match, of course, he's the new character, so you're going to see him. But I'm just not seeing him utilized as much as I had that first week, so I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means like he's falling off, he's not as effective as people thought he was, or not. Maybe people don't understand his kit well enough. I don't know. Yeah. So we'll kind of.
Well, I bounced off right away because I was not doing well. Yeah, there you go. But as soon as I figured out that he's got kind of like a splash attack with his basic attack, like you just keep
flinging around,
waving inflatable arm guy kind of thing, and you can get
inflatable 2-man.
Yeah, inflatable 2-man, and you can hit multiple people with every basic attack. That like it's a game changer. And then just keep throwing your shields on your allies, like keep jumping around, and every time you do that, you gain your elasticity or whatever it is, and you're becoming big man with the extra health. The other tip that I saw was with your extra health, when you're big boy, that's when you can also do your ult and you still keep all that extra health too. So if you're having a hard time staying alive, big fantastic. So
big health to bring that big D.
Yep, there you go. Loving it.
Hit him with the big D.
All right. On that note, we will wrap this episode up. Next week, Lucky 13. We will be talking about Rocket. And I don't know if Matt's going to be with us again next week. But either way, you'll be getting that lore dump. So everybody, as always, thank you so much for tuning into the show. And until next time, we'll catch you later.
See you.
Peace. All right. Well, stream, thank you guys for tuning in here. What's up? Pose for my scope. I saw you over on YouTube making the jump over to Twitch. We got Matt over there. MLTVB.
Thanks, I always forget to pull up the YouTube. I always pull up the Twitch. I forget to pull up the YouTube stream.
Yeah, we don't get much on YouTube.
Someone was thanking for enabling Twitch drops. They just got there.
Yeah, I did see that.
Dobbs.
Nice. Yeah, I still probably have like 2 hours left of mine.
So maybe I'm getting close. I did have it up here in a separate screen. That background looks great. That's a season 1 splash art.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Man, they gotta give me Blade soon.
Oh yeah,
He's in the
gotta be a tank.
stories. He's in the story.
Yeah.
I need a blade tank.
I mean, you think that's how it's going to go? Are we going to get like a hero in the story tease kind of, and then like he'll be a season 2? Maybe he'll be.
Well,
the
that's
first
what I
season
thought with this season, but they just kind of went. I think they'll just do whatever character is kind of ready, right? Because last season they did some drops about Shuri, so I thought, oh, maybe they'd go with that, like continue on that story, but they just kind of made up a new story. So
Yeah.
it's leaving a lot. I think they're still going to be just creating threads, and then maybe they'll wrap them up, maybe not, and they'll just kind of do whatever they want. The possibilities are endless.
Indeed.
I'm sorry, guys. Alrighty, stream. Well, we're gonna wrap it up there a little bit. What were we? An hour 30, I think, this week.
Oh, it might have been the shortest.
A little bit shorter.
Shortest one.
Yeah.
Hour 30 being the shortest one is kind of wild.
That's a lot of fun.
Oh, awesome. MLTV. Spring 268. Yeah, I see you over there. But all right, we're going to end it here, and we will catch you guys.